Hey everybody, welcome to Home with the Halsteads. Today we're making creamy cabbage wedges. This makes for a beautiful dish, a delicious dish, and I'm just going to bring you right in and tell you what we're going to need to make it. I've gathered our ingredients to make our creamy cabbage wedges, so let's talk about that for just a minute before we get started. We're going to need one green cabbage. One green cabbage. This is probably a medium-sized cabbage. You can use a large one if you want to. You can use a large one and just use half of it if you want to. And I'm going to use 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. This is a 10.5 ounce can of cream of mushroom soup. I'll be using a half a cup of water, 1/2 stick of butter. This is salted butter. And 1/2 stick, of course, is 4 tablespoons. I'll be using about a cup of shredded cheese. This is cheddar cheese. You can use the mild or the sharp, whichever you prefer. And I'm going to fry 6 to 8 slices of bacon to go on top of our creamy cabbage wedges. The first thing that we need to do is to wash our cabbage and cut it into wedges. So I'm going to start right here, just like this, and I'm going to cut my cabbage in half. Now we're going to lose some leaves in the process of doing this, but we'll save those because we can use them for something else. I'm going to leave the core in it, and now I'm going to half this half. I'm going to quarter it. I'm trying to be careful because I want my wedges to be pretty, if possible, or stay together. Maybe I should say stay together. Okay, now I'm going to try to quarter or half this one. So I'm just going to do it just like this. Whoops. Be careful, Joyce. You'll be messed up here. Okay, so there we have that, and that's what we're looking for. We want to make wedges, and like I said, I'm going to leave the core in it because it's going to help my wedges to stay together. So I'm going to do this one the same way. Let me try it this way and see if that's easier. You can tell I'm not the best chopper or cutter in the world. Okay, there we go. This one has a little more of the stem on it right here. You might want to cut that off a little bit, but not too close because all of your leaves will start to fall apart. So now I'll cut this one the same way, and then what we're going to do is to place the cabbage in a boiler. I have my big saucepan here. I'm just going to put my cabbage in here. I'm going to make about 6 wedges out of this cabbage. So I'm just going to place my cabbage in the boiler, and I'm going to cover it with water. You can cover it. You can go ahead and put your salt if you want to salt this. You know, I'm cutting back on sodium, so I'm not going to add salt to mine because the cream of mushroom soup has a lot of sodium in it, but you can add salt if you want to. So now I'm going to place this on the stove, bring it to a boil, and cook the cabbage until it's tender, and it won't take very long. I would say probably 10 to 12 minutes once it starts boiling. Our cabbage is boiling and coming right along, and while it finishes cooking, let's put our sauce together. Using a small heavy-duty saucepan here, I'm going to place our cream of mushroom soup in it, and I'm going to add a half a cup of water. So I'm just going to stir this around, and I'm just going to let it come out the bottom because I punched a hole in the bottom of my can so that my soup would come out real easily. So now I'm just going to place this on my burner here, on my hot plate. I do love this, especially when I'm making videos for you. And so I'm just stirring this around, and we're just going to let this start to heat. Going to let it start to warm up and heat, and we'll stir it. We want it to be smooth. While that is heating up, I'm going to add, or I'm going to crumble our bacon. I have cooked 6 slices of bacon. I forgot how many I cooked. So I'm just going to crumble this up while our soup is warming up. And I cook my bacon in the microwave sometimes, and that's what I did this morning. If I want to save the bacon grease, I will just cook it on top of the stove. But this morning, I just placed 2 paper towels, double them, and put them on the bottom of my bacon rack that I have to use in my microwave. I placed my bacon on there, set the timer, and I cooked it until it was crispy. And you have to be really careful when you're cooking bacon in the oven, because your plate or whatever you're using to bake it on, cook it on, it's going to get really, really hot. So now let's stir this a little bit. These little hot plates, they heat up really, really quickly. It's amazing how quickly they do heat up. So we're just stirring this around. Tell me in the comments what you're doing today. I won't post this video until after this has already happened, but our church is having a revival, a 3-day revival, and it starts at 10 o'clock this morning. So Doug and I will be going to that today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. And I think it's just a wonderful thing. You don't hear of revivals much anymore. But as I said, this video will post after that has already happened. So I know that we're going to enjoy that. So our soup is heating up. And now I'm going to just slide my bacon aside. And I'm going to add my butter to my soup and let it begin to melt. This is going to be really good. It's going to be a rich sauce. It's going to be so, so good. So we're just going to kind of let that begin to melt. And I'm going to go ahead and add my cheese. I bet you thought I was going to top it with cheese, but I'm going to put my cheese in the soup. And we're going to stir it until it melts. So we're just stirring this around. We want to get it really hot, really creamy. And once this melts, which it's melting really quickly, then we'll start putting our creamy cabbage wedges together. Okay, I very carefully lifted our cabbage wedges out of the boiling water and placed it on this little dish that I have here. You could put it in a baking dish, whatever dish you have that you want to use, but I'm using this one today. So now our sauce is ready, and we're just going to drizzle it over the cabbage, just pouring it over the cabbage, just like that. And get around here so you can see. I know this is going to be very, very good. I know one thing, it's pretty. You know, I like pretty food, but I also like delicious food too. I don't think it's going to take all of this. If I had a large cabbage, it probably would have taken all of it. But you can put as much or as little of this as you want to on it. So now, let's top it with our good bacon. So we're just going to sprinkle some bacon over it. My mouth is watering. How about yours? Goodness gracious. I like a lot of bacon, so I probably am going to put all of this. If I don't, I'll eat it. But it just looks so good. My goodness gracious. This might be a winner. This might be, if I was entering a contest, I don't know, but what this would take first place. I guess that would be if I was judging myself. And there you have it. Look at that. I'm just going to turn it around so you can see it from all sides. Our creamy cabbage wedges ready to serve. Okay, friends, that's how it's done. We have some beautiful creamy cabbage wedges. I'm going to bring it up close so you can really see it. Look at that. Doesn't that look wonderful? Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for always being so kind with your comments and for liking and sharing our videos. It really helps us out when you do that, because the way Facebook works and YouTube, the more people that look and view our videos, then the more people that will be reached. So that's real important. But I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you again really, really soon.